catch up with people and beat them. That's competitive nature of athletes. That's how you know you're really meant to be there. All right, welcome back. This is the Fittest podcast, and today we have a guest as promised. Introduce yourself.
It's been a lot of work.
Yeah,
Made it happen.
we got the Henry Sales. Oh, what the hell did you do?
Oh, I just plugged it back in there.
Oh, hell no.
Start over.
I'll say that.
That's recording over here, so we can always pull that guy.
Welcome back to Fittest podcast with Mark and Mark, and today we have a guest, the Henry Sales.
What's up, Henry?
How you doing?
And we're going to talk about some fitness.
Caveat.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about fitness, but we're going to spend probably the next 10 minutes talking about good old COVID
19?
19.
It's not even the 19th minute yet. We're going to start that already? Shit. All right. That's fine.
Well, you haven't had the opportunity to talk about it, and we got a chance to talk about it beforehand, and I know you have some thoughts. Some thoughts. We all have thoughts. But a lot of it just kind of revolved around, like, for most normal people, this is like, oh, I get to miss the gym for a long period of time. But for people like us, it's like, it's an essential part of it day to day, even like an outlet. So you were really talking about that.
Yeah, I was definitely very highly upset. I wasn't expecting them to close down the gym, and I get like restaurants because a lot of potential I call it a pathogen spreads, but I mean definitely like going to the gym was like an outlet for me.
Yeah.
I'm obviously very highly competitive, so just going to the gym and just being very competitive with myself, that definitely was taken from me. So I kind of had to find some type of alternative, and the alternative wasn't even existing in the store. So I definitely had to really find some kind of way, and obviously body weight exercises. I had to purchase one dumbbell from Play Against Sports around the area. And they had other dumbbells, but I think I just wanted to be able to do something, but just going to what my daily routine was definitely was taken from me. So it kind of like made me highly upset in that regard, not necessarily working out, but just having that routine and sticking with it.
Yeah.
And it's just that nature of being an athlete. So,
Well, like with any athlete too, like you have to learn how to adapt, and I think this will be a good time to, work on adapting. Regardless, it's difficult, throughout, like just having this done, having the gym closed and everything like that, and having to solely stick to what you have at home. Like, is there? I know you follow programs, but are they offering like
Alternatives?
alternatives like limited equipment workouts or body weight workouts, body weight only workouts, or stuff like that?
yes, they are. They're providing alternatives like body weight, and if like you guys don't know, like I do Mayhem Athlete. It's Rich Fronin's program, so he offered. It's called M300, where he just offered like body weight stuff. I really haven't got onto it yet, so I just been kind of following the program they already have, and I just kind of been supplementing like planks, or like push-ups. Doing like your typical bodybuilding exercises like one arm row, obviously double unders, but just trying to find, like you're saying, adapt to whatever I can. And it's been definitely not a challenge, but it's definitely like something like I have to get used to. Being confined in one place, for sure. And then going out and finding other places to work out at too. So like outside, just to kind of mix it up. So,
Do you find it difficult to like work out at home? Because I do. Like I find it's hard to, like, even though I have I have a rig and I have a barbell and plates and some dumbbells and I have a jump rope and I have an echo bike, I find it hard to like stick with a program at home. Like I feel like I have to go somewhere to do something, like to get my mind right, to motivate myself to work out.
I guess I can bring up the past. When I was younger, I felt like I did have to go to a gym in order to do something. And this reminds me of when I was younger, I had to adapt. So I had to find things to work out. Like I would literally use a bucket as my bench, utility bench, and like I would, use like some inanimate object, like just like weird stuff, just to kind of get that type of like
That stimulus.
yeah, huh?
That stimulus.
That stimulus, that same type of like thing you would get at the gym. But I think now I just like have to shut my brain off when I start thinking like that, because I mean I have to say I can find something to do something. It's definitely, the intensity is definitely a lot different.
That's where I'm.
Yeah,
that's where I feel.
That's
Like, intensity is like, man, I could stop at any point.
Yeah. I'm by myself. I'm like, I don't have to do all this.
So it's the intensity is definitely not the same, but like you can get creative, and like it goes back to like I had a coach say, like, if you're a really good athlete, you're gonna improvise, adapt, and overcome. So it's just something we're gonna overcome and adapt to. So it's good that you find little things that you can change and tweak and be creative with to get through this.
Yeah, I think that's an important note to kind of share with people who are just like getting started, or they're not necessarily like as dedicated as either of us three. And I don't know if I can even hold a candle to either of you two, but at least what I can say is that
Sure you can, man. You like to suffer, so
Yeah,
we're all in
yeah.
the same boat.
That's true. Well, what I was gonna say is that it's more of like when you transition from like thinking about diets and workouts from being just a diet or a workout to it being like a lifestyle. It really is like a part of your day to day, where you're almost missing like this. Just think about it like you just went for days not brushing your teeth. At some point, you're like, something's just really off.
Yeah.
So that's what it feels like for us. And we're like, I made the joke earlier that we kind of like put together a skit of us like going around like, hey man, you got some weights?
the Dave Chappelle. Like,
that
you got any of them weights?
It's just a 5 o'clock free weight giveaway.
That's interesting, because yesterday I felt like that I was getting that itch, because I was literally going to play against Spurs. Like, you got any dumbbells? Like, any coming in? The guy was like, man, I don't know, man. I think he was looking at me like I really was on drugs, and I'm like, dude, I think I am on drugs. Because it is a drug
Well,
tool.
like, it's a dopamine response. Like people often forget or negate the fact that like exercise is such a produces such a dopamine response and like makes you feel better. And when you don't have that, like you just don't feel right. Like you said, like it's like missing a day of, brushing your teeth. Like something just feels off, and you're just not you anymore.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So
I feel like that. At least when you walked in earlier and started talking about it, like I felt like you were just not as centered as you could be. Yeah. And I mean that's just an interesting observation, thinking about like I mentioned, I have one client that I'm working with, and I don't know that he sees it as a luxury or as a break from what we were doing, but I definitely didn't get the feeling that he was like, oh man, I got to find a way to make this work because I can't go anywhere, I can't go to the gym or anything. And it was just like, hey, let's do the best that we can with what we have and make the most of it. And I think if you're like new to this, or if you're just getting into fitness, whatever, and you check yourself and realize like, I'm kind of excited because I get to sit around on my butt for the next month and not have to do anything, then that tells you where you are. Yeah. It's not a bad thing, but it just means like if you have a set of goals and you're trying to get to them, and you find yourself being more excited that you get to do nothing for the next month, that's really going to be an indicator of your own motivation. Whereas we're over here like, I need a kilo.
Yeah.
I need a plate, something.
like, how many pushes can I do?
I know. I'm just kidding. Like you said, you were just going to work out all day.
Yeah. I literally said, I told my fiance, like, tomorrow I'm going to literally work out all day long. But that's how, like, upset I was that I couldn't go to the gym.
Yeah, well, like, it's a stress relief, and for me, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm weird, maybe you're in the same boat, but, like,
all weird.
It helps me calm down. Like, if I'm, like, stressed out or something, like, that's what I go to. I go to the gym where I, work out, or if something's on my mind and, like, if I want to think clearly, I go exercise. And, like, for some people, like, that's weird. Like, why don't you just, like, calm down, think about it, like, sit inside. I'm like,
Calm
no,
down.
that's not how it works. Like, I have to get it out. I have to get it out of my system, you know? So
Don't tell me to calm down.
yeah, hey, it's not like the worst thing you can say to like anyone, especially women. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but it's true though.
It's true
though. But I guess that'd be kind of a good segue to kind of get into your background, because I mean you got to give people a little bit of biography of who you are and all that. So kind of tell us, how did you get started in all of this? And you guys have a lot of common ground. So that's kind of cool.
For sure. I mean, Mark is competitive like me. Well, I got started. I mean, when I was at the age of 14, I think I started like really getting into it somehow, and I can remember it clear as day. My brother, I don't even know how he got the equipment. He had just a regular utility bench, a barbell, and so, like those Walmart plastic plates and like just simple dumbbells, and started doing bench, curls and stuff like that, and that really what catapulted that what's the word?
Your fitness career?
Yeah, my fitness career. So once I started that, then I got into college. High school. High school, I'm sorry. And then once I got into high school, I already had that foundation. So when I had that foundation, I started like seeing where I become when I started using like an actual barbell, an Olympic barbell, and started being around other people who have kind of the same like mindsets as I had. And then once I had that foundation and got around people like that, I realized I was, kind of good at this. And it wasn't necessarily getting into football, which was like pretty much my entire life, but I think just the working out aspect, I enjoyed that way more than football. Like I actually hated football.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. Like you're more of like a workhorse than an actual like football player. You rather spend time in the weight room and conditioning than actual playing. So
yeah, I love the conditioning part. Like, I can literally be in the gym all day and it wouldn't bother me. Yeah. For some people, it probably will, but it's more of an outlet, and it's just like when something that you're really good at and you don't hear any criticism from it, you're gonna enjoy it more.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had like a whole bunch of people basically telling you were doing really good, and everyone was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And then like in college, that like obviously you built a foundation, from 14 through high school. In college, did it catapult you more?
Oh yeah. When I got to college, like I was already like strong, but then like I realized like I was one of those top strong athletes. So it wasn't like I was already I wasn't a weakling. So they were very amazed that like I can bench press 315 for one rep. They was surprised I can squat 400 pounds, deadlift like 500. Like I already had like statistics along with the athletic abilities to play football, but I didn't care about the athletic ability. I cared about
the numbers.
The weights. Like I know that I'm strong and I know I can do all these things. That's what I cared about more, to be honest with you, was the weights.
So like that's like a strength coach's dream, like for like college athletes. They're like, dude, I got a kid who I don't need to hold his hand and like pretty much go step by step on how to bench press, how to squat, how to deadlift. I can do more advanced stuff with him from there on.
And that's pretty much what he did. Like there were, I mean, I give all credit to my actually high school weightlifting coach. He the one that got me to that point, because he was an Olympic lifting coach. So he knew the basics of squat, bench, and stuff like that. So I've already had that foundation when I got there. It was just like for them to just kind of like tweak a couple things and like having an actual program, and that way actually got me even further into like, oh man, I'm actually even better at it. And so like, let's see how far can I go in. And so it was just like something I would do every day. I would do it before practice. I would do it, sometimes before the games. And like people say like some people do it. I actually did it. I never really talked about it, but I just did it because like I loved it. It's different. I know it's just different when you actually.
It didn't affect you for like the games or anything like that? No. It's that age, man. You can do it.
As I said, that age,
that age where you pretty much just an endless battery, where you just, I could work out for 2 hours and then go play a football game, no problem. Like, no damage.
I pay for it in the game, but it's that dopamine, that feeling, dopamine like man, like I feel good, like I can, and it keeps you positive. And just I think just the results from it is just like it's uncomparable to anything.
No, it really isn't. And the thing is too, like the more you do it, the greater the intensity, the more that your need for it kind of grows. It's like, I know we keep going back to that whole like thing about it kind of like being drugs, but it's like you almost need a bigger and bigger hit every time. So it's like, why are you squatting 405? And it's like, because I need to.
Yeah.
It's like, because I want to get to 415. That's why.
You don't understand.
You don't understand. Like, and like, as we're getting older, like I'm sure, have you gotten this? But I've gotten like people, if I go to like a gym that I haven't been to, people see the stuff that I do, I'll get an older gentleman or somebody like, you're not gonna be able to do that forever. Like, have you gotten that?
Yes,
like,
I've
how do you
gotten
respond
that.
to that?
I've gotten that I've gotten it like a lot, but it's been somehow like diminished over time.
They just accept you.
Yeah, they just accept me because like
this
this
is
is
Henry.
yeah, and I think it's more of the people who don't know me
Yeah.
say stuff like that, and then the people that don't know me, once they're around me a lot and they see like I'm doing it consistently, then they starting to see that okay, this is what he do. It's not necessarily him just doing it because for attention. I think a lot of people do stuff for attention.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and I personally don't. You see me work out, like I just work out
Yeah.
because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
I mean, you're straight in there.
Yeah.
You hit the foam roller. You start
Yeah.
warming up, and then you set your stuff up and go. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing crazy. Like unless it's a person who totally walks into the gym first time and like sees you doing it, like they might think like, who's this dude doing handstand walks
Who's this
up and
monster?
down a ramp? Like,
Yeah.
no, that's just Henry. Like, it becomes a normal for people who have already been there, but for somebody from the outside looking in, they're like, what the hell is this dude doing? And, like, you just have to understand. And I feel like we've all been in that kind of same boat where like why is this guy deadlifting, or why is this guy doing snatches? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's just the different like gym cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm not gonna lie. Like it feels good the first few times that you hit a PR on something, and then you're just very fired up about it, and like everybody's eyes kind of turn to you. And that feels good too.
Yeah.
And I think that I always try to tie everything back to like individuals' motivation. So I think if you need to kind of get that, if you need the dopamine rush, if you need like people to kind of stand by you who are doing the same thing, like let that be the thing that guides you, because I almost want to say, do you think it's rare to have someone like yourself or me at some point where you realize like, I like this? Do you think that's rare? Because it seems like not everyone does. Like they need like some other thing to be at the gym.
Yeah, it's definitely rare for sure.
I think it's rare. I stopped swimming completely. Like after college, like I did masters for like a year.
I thought that was silly.
Thought it was silly because, well, one, like I've already been to high levels, and
You had
two,
to,
I had my fun. Like I knew I wasn't gonna progress after that, and I was just swimming for fun. And then I got tired of a coach telling me what to do in swimming when I've already done everything I could.
Yeah.
So I like the lifting part and like going fast part more. So I started just gravitated towards CrossFit and with weightlifting and everything, and that's what I truly loved, because I've always been I've been in the weight room like you, like since I was like 14. So like that's what I love doing. But like I never needed like a program to follow, or like I just wanted to get stronger. Like that's all that was the only thing motivating me really. Like I just want to be as strong as I could, and then obviously when I got into like obviously when I became first responder and stuff like that, and like ocean rescue and like law enforcement and stuff like that, like, well, I need to be strong to save lives now. Like that was kind of what the driving thing was for me. So I feel like, yes, you need to have a goal in mind, but you also you have to do it for yourself. And like I think like different personal goals, what it is, like some people want to go to the gym and just be in shape, and some people are working towards being a you competed in CrossFit and CrossFit regionals, and CrossFit Games were obviously like something you were working towards.
Yeah.
Like some people need that, and like it's all depends on the individual, really.
Yeah. What is your current goal? Like, is there something you're kind of training up for?
Well, Mark mentioned about regionals.
Yeah.
Was it back in 2018? Yeah, that's when they had the regionals, and then after that they canceled it. So that kind of like threw a curveball big time, because then at that point I finally got to regionals after 4 years. It was definitely a journey. It was well worth it. It was a process, and I think a lot of people don't look at that like a lot of things you want to achieve, especially something like CrossFit, which is so new. It's very challenging, especially I mean, just the adaptations in like the energy systems and stuff like that, along with the body that people don't tend to look at. I mean, if you don't have those energy systems, it's very hard to reach that type of potential, and you have to train to get your body to that.
Yeah, you have to be. You pretty much have to be good at everything.
Yeah.
You can't just be good at, like, you're a strong dude. You just can't be a strong dude. Like, you have to be able to run. You have to be able to do gymnastics. Like, there's a lot of variables that you have to be well-rounded in. And like a lot of people, swim.
Swim is like a big thing, and that's like something like it's not like a big weakness, but it's a weakness in the CrossFit, competitive rim. Like, you got to be able to swim 400 meters, without stopping. I mean, in those 400 meters for you probably be like nothing. But for some people, that's like running like 4 miles. For me, I'm personally like running 4 miles, but it's just me getting through that part of training for CrossFit. Like, that's something like I want to do because like it's a challenge, something that I'm not good at. So that definitely motivates me. Like, okay, I'm not good at this. Let me attack this weakness. And they say make it a strength. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's just something that you just want to be okay at.
Yeah.
To keep you motivated, because that's just part of it. And just to go back to talking about the CrossFit, like, of course, now I made it to regional, which is my goal. I want to go to the CrossFit Games, whether it be this year, 2, 3 years, 4 years from now. It's just something that I want to make. It's a personal goal. Yeah. So it's not something that I'm putting out to the world like, hey, I'm going to the CrossFit Games. Yeah. No, it's just something like it motivates me first to get to the gym, and second of all, it keeps me competitive. Yeah. Because I still want that competitive drive, and it just keeps me healthy mentally. Yeah. Because I just got to have that. That's just me. So
before we continue, I think this would be a good period to kind of cut into a break.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit deeper about that whole swimming aspect.
Yeah. Take a little break.
A little breaker.
All right. See you. What's up, guys? It's Mark with Fittest podcast, and let me tell you about a project I'm working on called Streamline. Streamline is designed to make you more confident in and around the water. 15 years, I was a competitive swimmer, 8 of those years at the national level. I qualified for 2008 Olympic trials, 2009 World Champs, and again at 2012 Olympic trials. Swam competitively at Florida State University, water safety instructor, and I swam ocean rescue for a number of years. This program is designed for my CrossFit athletes. This might be the missing part of your game. For my triathletes, I know you guys struggle with that first part of the race. For my first responders, God forbid you ever have to make a water rescue or extraction. For my military candidates, combat, stroke, and water confidence drills. All of this stuff will help you swim better, more confident in the water. And guys, stay tuned for more in-depth tutorials and instruction. Thanks.
This is touch and go. And just like reach and go with the kickboard, you're trying to maximize your full reach with every stroke. Your arm pulls straight down underneath your body, all the way past your hips. Nice high elbow on the recovery. When you breathe to the side. One goggle in, one goggle out. When you breathe, you try to get your face back in the water before your hand comes halfway up. So as you can see, I'm breathing. As my elbow comes up, my face goes back in the water. Always rotating your body around your head, so your head doesn't move, body rotates around it. This is touch and go.
Oh yeah, Mark? Yeah. We're gonna start next month. Hopefully they probably close all the swimming pools.
Yeah, they're
right?
closed right
Swimming pools.
Yeah.
That's when I started tubs.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
Just sneak off to the beach or something.
No, we can't even sneak off to the beach, dude. They're all out there.
I'm definitely interested in swimming. I've been trying to find somebody to teach me how to swim. Like, it's been so freaking
I've already
hard.
pitched the idea with Mark. Like, we're gonna take a video because like this is the easiest way for me to analyze your stroke. So I watch what you do without any instruction. So I'll watch you swim, and then we're gonna videotape that, and and then I'm going to videotape you with all my corrections and see how you do. And like I'll give you drills and stuff like that to work on. Because after I pitched this idea and we took like the first like commercial thing, and I showed my girlfriend, she's like, "Can you teach me how to swim?" And she's terrified of the water.
Yeah.
Like she won't put her face in the water, and like it's like you have to do that. Like you're never able to. It's crazy because like people who grew up around water, they don't know how to swim, and I'm like, how does that work? Like I don't understand, because I've always been around water, and I had like an advantage because like my mom swam all her life too, so it's different for me. But I like to share my knowledge with the world now.
Definitely use me. I mean, something like I definitely want to do. I've been wanting to do it for years. I just haven't had nobody to do it with me, because I mean, it's just like I can work about myself. That doesn't bother me. But like things that you don't normally do, you kind of like, okay, I need somebody here with me. Like it's just like having a coach. Like something like, oh, you don't need a coach.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's not that I need a coach. It's just like having that second eye.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I was talking to one of my friends, James. I'm like, man, I don't want you to be my coach. I want you to say, hey man, you need to pick up the barbell, right here, just a little bit faster, man. You can, just like little things that they see that they know that you can do. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you a better athlete. And people don't realize that, and people don't realize that people who are competing, they have somebody coaching them, whether they know that or not.
Yeah. It's more of a training partner than anything else.
Yeah.
It's not even a coach. Like, do you want to pick it up now?
So we're recording. You can say we're back and we're getting.
Hey, we're back, and we'll finish the discussion. Like, it's not even needing a coach. It's like more like a training partner. Like, I've had several training partners, throughout my life, and like it's either they tell you things where they tell you the hard truth, where like, hey, you need to cut the shit and like start picking it up, or you're like, hey man, like if you make this tweak, you'll be that much better off.
Yeah.
And so I think you need both. And like, we can go segue into like.
Well, I was gonna say, why was it we're talking about that? So you kind of want to go over? Do you want to go over the some Streamline program?
Yeah. So like, I have this program called Streamline, which I want to share, my swimming background with you guys. Whether you're a CrossFit athlete, triathlete, first responder, or military candidate, to get you swimming more confidently, more efficiently. For a lot of CrossFit athletes, it's the missing link in their game. Like they, for the most part, most CrossFit athletes struggle with the swim portion, or even any water-based portion of the CrossFit Games or some of the sanctionals. For the triathletes, like I know a number of triathletes that hate the swim portion. Like they feel more comfortable on the bike and the run. I want you guys to be comfortable and be able to swim that 400, 800, mile swim, no problem. My first responders, like, God forbid you ever have to do a water rescue or extraction. Like I want you guys to be the most prepared for it. And, for my military candidates, like I know the water confidence drills and the combat stroke, a lot of people struggle with that. So I want you guys to be able to do that with, without any hesitation or without any trouble. And, Henry is, very interested in like the swim partnership and like the working with me to get his swimming better and more efficiently. So that's what we're talking about. Like you don't necessarily need a coach, but you need somebody with that second eye to make corrections and make you a better athlete as like a training partner. And like that's what we're talking about.
Tighten it up and get your swimming down.
Yeah. Just more well-rounded.
Yeah.
So
It's well-rounded. Yeah. He's like, Henry's not going to be the next Michael Phelps.
No.
But
Be a lot better in water than a lot of other. Because I think what is that, like kind of like a fresh new ground for the CrossFit Games? Because a lot of people are implementing it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of programs implement more swims now in their programming, and to get better. And like I've seen some of the CrossFit athletes swim, and like I cringe sometimes because I was like, there's so many things that you can correct technique wise that they're not doing. They're just like, hey, swim 50 meters, or do like swim a 500 meter, and they're not correcting anything. So they're just reinforcing those bad habits. Like I want to help you correct those, because like there's so many things like drills and technique work that you can work on, and it'll make your swimming that much more effective.
Yeah.
So like 100 meters should not make you tired. Like 400 meters, like you should be able to do without stopping.
Yeah.
Like those are the things I want to work with athletes with, and just to make them more efficient, more confident in the water.
Because I think just simply programming, say, 50 meters into your WOD for the day or WODs for the day is not going to be enough. But refining it is going to make you that much more competitive.
Yeah.
I think that's why this works out. This works out as a great sort of partnership or collaboration because you've already got the mind to always work towards refining what it is that you're doing. And now you're working with somebody who has an eye for that and has not only has an eye for that, but is actually trained in it for
Specializes for years.
Yeah. It's different when you're like your local CrossFit coach goes, go swim like a few laps at the pool, and then you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
This you get like pro level, like.
And that's one aspect about CrossFit is really liking is the swim portion because they are now implementing a lot of CrossFit workouts like Rich programs swimming every Thursday, and like I cringe because I'm like I know I can swim, but it's like I don't have the technique, I don't have the efficiency of it. So if I want to go swim, I'm going to be thinking about, man, I'm going to get so tired halfway in instead of just like I know that I can swim because I have that foundation. And so that's one area CrossFit as a whole doesn't really promote. They promote how to lift a barbell properly, how to do butterfly kipping pull-ups, muscle-ups, like any body weight, but that's one aspect they do not touch. I don't know why, because that's something that like CrossFit affiliates can actually implement into their programs if they actually have a program for swimming, to be honest with you. So I think it'd be a really good for Mark, and I've talked to him at a gym, like, man, I would like to see you, in the CrossFit headquarters, something that like they have a specialized person that actually has the experience and has competitively done it, teach it, versus somebody who say, oh, I've been a triathlete, but they really don't know the mechanics. Because I know that. I see them swimming. I'm like, they swimming like me. Yeah. And I know I'm not a good swimmer, but I know I can at least try to beat them. Yeah. So most definitely, I think it's going to take up more than what it is.
That would honestly, not to like. I know you're like
not to gas me up.
Not to gas you up. I'm not. I'm seriously like that would like the way you put that. Like if you could be a subject matter expert, like they have a few people who like specialize in barbell stuff.
Yeah, kettlebell stuff. Everything.
So it's like now I think would be a great opportunity actually to do that.
Yeah.
And I think like we're gonna put out more content based on this. I'm doing a lot of the production stuff on all that, and like I really want to push out better content because this is extremely valuable, especially if you are an athlete or if you're in
first
responders. Yeah. It's valuable stuff. And as a personal thing, I don't know how to swim. My dad was a sailor. I was born on an island. I was born in a water
Which doesn't make any sense.
Born on a water sign. I'm a Pisces and I don't know how to swim.
Which I could, dude. If I were with you, I would say 2 days I could get you to swim.
That's a strong endorsement. I
probably can do it in a day, but in 2 days I can get you to swim.
And what I want to add to that is like, I think the challenge, especially as an adult, to learning swimming is that you're so used to your environment. Like the way you told me about another coach and another athlete, Matt Saylor. He's just so used to what he does that getting out of that element, literally into a different element, water, it feels so foreign. And moving in that place, you really got to give yourself into it. And most people try to like literally muscle their way through that.
Don't fight the water because the water's gonna win every
single time. And I like besides your long list of your experiences, but you've also trained Matt. You've trained a couple of coaches. You trained a Navy SEAL. Yeah, he was a candidate, and now he is a Navy SEAL.
I'm not going to mention his name, but
he's operating.
Yeah, he's operating. So for him, like he was a really good athlete too. So he picked up things. He's a very quick learner. I mean, I got him to do like almost competitive swimming. Like he could do flip turns faster than I could, and I was a national level swimmer. Like, I would love to learn how to do that. I was like, one time when I almost drowned. I was like, how the heck did you learn how to do that so quickly and so efficiently? He's like, I don't know. You just told me how to do it, and I learned. And so I was like, whatever, man.
I'm excited. I would love to learn. I don't know how many times I tried that, dude.
Like I've taught kids how to swim. I've taught from infants to 18 years old, and I've helped. I was a general manager for Florida State University my senior year, so I worked with a lot of the swimmers, and I learned what it was to be like a coach. That was like my first coaching experience, and got to see what the coaches saw. I'm like, hey, if you worked on this one little thing, like you breathe too much on this side, it's just like a small minute things, like you'll be so much faster. So like having that coach's eye now kind of grants me more, not power, but like I have more knowledge in what I'm saying. So
I got a question. Like, so what about like? Hopefully, this goes along with what we're promoting. Like, does body weight ratio has an effect in swimming?
So
body fat ratio.
Yes. So I'm negative point, so I can't float. Like I've tried everything. I know the concept of how to float, but if I lay on my back and like have my chin up to the ceiling, I'm gonna sink. I've had certain coaches tell me, and I've had certain trainers tell me, is like, well, African Americans tend to have a higher bone density. That's why you are negative buoyant. Obviously, the higher body fat you have, the easier it is to float. I don't know what is what, but I know if you can keep moving forward, you're going to be staying on top of the surface. Like swimming is on top of the surface regardless, so you don't have to worry about touching the bottom of the pool or being able to swim underneath the water. Like you swim on top of the water generally for the most part. So body weight doesn't really play a factor, really. And if you have the right body mechanics, you're going to be on top of the water no matter what.
Okay. I think that's been like my biggest question. Because I've heard so many things. Many questions like, oh man, you need more body fat. And I've literally had to tell people like, I cannot gain body fat. Like I've tried. Like it's just my genetics.
For you.
I've had
so sorry.
But it's a true statement. Like I've literally tried.
Well, I'll tell you, like, from my swimming experience, like I was like 170 pounds at my racing weight, and I had like below 10% body fat, like, and I still was negative buoyant, and I swam the fastest I've ever swam in my college, my entire swimming career. It's all relative. And I had, bigger athletes, with higher body fat percentages. They swam the same way, like, but it's all relative. I don't think body fat plays a role in swimming fast.
That's probably just one of those things. Like, there's always some like misconception in anything.
Yeah.
So people assume that's like a factor when it's not. Or
I mean,
like,
if you look at the men's and women's Olympic team, like they're all the sprinters are all shredded to the bone. Like they're jacked up.
Yeah.
So there's a phrase in swimming like more muscle, more hustle.
Yeah.
But they all look like athletes.
I've never even heard that before. Yeah. not relative to swimming, because I think besides that, it's like some goofy things like people usually you just throw you in the water, you'll figure it out, and it's like
that's survival swimming. There's a difference.
I'm dead. That's happened a couple of times, and it's never worked every single time.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a terrible philosophy.
No, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
I'd rather teach you.
Yeah.
Be in the water with you and like, hey, calm down. Like this is what you need to do.
Because you're building a good relationship with it.
Yeah.
It's like it's already a stressful environment as it is. And you want to be able to enjoy the experience. You want to be able to open up, especially like. And I think that's sort of a distinguishing thing for us, being like, say, fitness people. I don't want to say athletes. You guys maybe. I don't want to put myself in that category, but like, it's one thing to like we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different experience for us.
It's a process. Like, and if you don't enjoy the process, then what are you doing this for?
Yeah, it's not like we go and it's like, oh god, I gotta put weight. I gotta put bumpers on this bar.
Well, that's the hardest part of the workout, right there.
I enjoy that part. I think it's like that's my cardio. It's like that distance between the bumper and the rack. That's my cardio. That's it.
Loading the bar up and unloading it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So. Putting the weights away. Like putting all the equipment away. That's the pain in the ass right there.
I mean, but it's still not forgivable though for like normal people. Just put your weights away.
Yeah.
We always say that's like a reflection of how you probably manage things at home. It's like you leave things just like a mess like that.
Yeah. Well, we had that conversation at the gym when we had to clean it up. And I'm like, man, if they ever like participate in college sports or even like high level high school sports, like that shit wouldn't fly with any of your coaches. Like you'd be running stadiums or running like suicides or whatever you were doing. Like it was a team punishment, which I've always hated. I like the individual punishment more than team punishment, but it gets the point across either way.
Yeah, that's definitely terrible gym etiquette, leaving weights everywhere, and it's very dangerous.
It's a common thing.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah.
So it's very common in a lot of gyms, and it really drives me nuts because I'm very like OCD when it comes to like having things organized. So
especially in a gym, like I'm OCD about like gym equipment being left out.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like it just tells you like it kind of just is a reflection of like might not be, but like a first impression of a person.
Yeah.
Like this guy leaves like the whole squat rack full of weights. Like this guy's a douche.
Oh, that's annoying.
That would that's very annoying.
There's no excuse. Like I think like because for a lot of us, especially for training as intensely as we do, it's one thing for someone to look at what we're doing and go, wow, you do all that weight. I don't think that's necessary. It's dangerous. And then at the end of it, you actually put your stuff away.
Yeah.
And for someone to do like
That's a good point.
sets of 135 and not be able to put down your 45s away, it's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like you barely broke a sweat and you can't be bothered to put
Maybe
your
they
weights
did
away.
break a sweat.
Maybe they,
I never thought about that until you said it.
No, for real.
I
Like,
never thought about that.
I go out of my way at the end to like waddle all the weights back into place, and I'm tired.
Yeah, because I hate that, man.
I'm tired. I'm like, or my post workout window's closing, but I get it done.
Yeah.
And a lot of us get it done.
It's funny because like y'all see me lift, so like I don't lift heavy to like show like I'm stronger than anybody, but it's just something like
It's
I have to
big.
do.
Yeah.
But it's like when I get done, it's like, man, I gotta put these freaking 45s back. That's like everything. So I get that point. And then since you said like somebody that puts just 135 pounds on the bar and can't put it back, it's just like seriously, man.
It's a reflection.
Yeah.
Or like 135 or like 135 or 125 that they put on like the T-bar row. Like, come on.
Yeah.
How many T-bar rows did you do? Like,
Yeah.
I can understand if you're like Phil Heath and you're just like crushing T-bar rows from
Well, even him, man. Like,
But he wouldn't put it away though. He'd put it away
Yeah.
because he knows what's up. Yeah, so put your weights away, man.
what else we got?
Well, yeah.
Let's talk about we're introducing Henry, and this is Henry's Henry's a guest on here. Like,
So
what are some like highlights that you're most proud of, and like we'll go into like different stuff. Like I know you have a top 10 on ESPN SportCenter. Yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah.
I can't even explain the amount of like. It was just like one of those things that catches you off guard. You never would expect something like that.
Yeah.
Because it was just something you did in that moment. It was just based off of just your instinct.
Yeah.
So like it was just so like I can remember to this day how it feels and how it looked when I did that play because it wasn't supposed to go that way.
Yeah.
That's how like people like how did you do that? And I'm sitting on mine. It wasn't supposed. It wasn't designed that
Can
way.
you explain like
What-
what play we're talking about? Like,
So the play, I think it was back in 2008. My sophomore year, we played against Southeast Missouri, and it was supposed to be a double reverse. The quarterback, it's a quarterback and there's a running back on the left side and on the right side, and I'm on the right side inside slot receiver. So when they say hike, the quarterback gives the ball to the left side running back, and he comes to the right side, and I'm coming to the left. He hands it to me, so it becomes a double reverse.
Yeah.
And then I'm supposed to be going to the left side, going behind the quarterback, but somehow, and I can remember this move I practiced with my coach. Just it's a drill that we would hit a defender and spin off.
Yeah.
Well, I ran to the defender and I spin off, and the only thing I can see was green grass.
Yeah.
And so in football, whenever they say you see green grass, you just go. And so when I saw the green grass, I went, and then I went down the sideline, and next thing you know, like I don't even remember from that point into the end zone. I really don't. I was just running, and then I remember like, dang, I just can't believe I scored. It's just one of those things. It's just I can't explain it, but just that day, like we won that game, so that was even more. I was more focused on the game than that play. And then I found out when I got on the bus that one of my coaches like, you can't believe this, and then I'm like, what? It's like, dude, you're gonna be on ESPN Top Play, and I'm like, And it's one of those things you can't fathom. It's like, there's no way. Like, I'm just this
surreal moment.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just this simple guy just making a play. That's it. Yeah. And then I didn't believe it until the next morning. I was on ESPN. And so that was when Tennessee Tech became on the map a little bit because it's a very small school, Division I AA.
Yeah.
And that moment right there, like, that's when I thought, like, man, I'm going to go to the NFL. Like, this is it right here. And that's shocked. That didn't even come true. But just that moment, man, that's probably one of my proudest, like, experience I've ever had. And I'm so grateful for that. Like, I would never, like, replace that with anything.
That's awesome, man.
So,
I watched that play a couple times. I'm like, how do you, like, your shoe fell off during it. I'm like, because I know
my shoestrings came on top.
Yeah, it's like you lose traction with that one cleat on. Like, how do you maintain that speed to keep going? And then I'm like, it has to be pure adrenaline. That's all it was. Like just shot of adrenaline, just go. And then after you get done, you're like, what happened? Like, how did I end up here? Like, you just look around, like, where's my shoe at?
So I was panicking because I didn't know, like. Because it wasn't designed to be that way. So you just, after that, it's just like you're just a free man. Because, when you in college, the coach is telling you got to do it this way, this way, this way, and you stick it that way. Yeah. And then, like, if the play don't go the way it's designed, you have all freedom. And so, like, you start thinking like you're in high school, oh, man, I could do what I want. So I just ran, and it couldn't say nothing. And it was a big play. And the coach looking at me and just, he didn't really get excited about it, but he was just one of those coaches like, okay, you scored. Yeah. But it wasn't designed that way. That's really what he was saying. And so
I've had coaches like, good job, you won, but hell happened to your race strategy. I'm like, I figured it out. I touched the wall first. Just give me a break. But what other, like, you've had like a really successful career athletically, like, what other moments, like, are you most proud of? Like, I've always asked, like, all my guests these questions and stuff like that. So, like, anything like CrossFit that you're proud of? And
well, obviously, my second, I think it's up there with my top ESPN play, is obviously doing that FRAN workout. That was, once again, like, one of those things, like, I don't even know if I want to say this because people wouldn't even believe me if I say this. I literally, no lie, did that FRAN workout that same day in the morning. And
same day as the ESPN play?
No, the same day that FRAN workout. So, in that morning, it was programmed FRAN. Yeah. And this was at CrossFit Lena, down Lena Road. I did FRAN, and I wasn't even going that hard. And I did all the reps perfect, and I ended up getting it in 2:01. Mm-hmm. And, like, this was like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is not in the evening where, your body is like warmed up and everything. Yeah. And so, like, I had to go to work that same day. And, like, for some reason, that whole entire day, I think it's one of those things like something spiritual is telling you, like, you need to do this workout again. Yeah. And, like, I'm constantly contemplating the whole day, like, man, I should redo this workout. But I'm like, man, I don't know. Should I redo this workout? Yeah.
Starts festering your head.
Yeah, it starts festering my head because, like, I'm so close to breaking 2 minutes because nobody has ever broken 2 minutes without adding any type of, like, adaptation, like a wall ball to squat to or anything like that. And so, like,
and like for the people listening and, like, who don't know what FRAN is not a person; it's a workout. 21-15-9. Is it pull-ups first or?
It's thrusters then pull-ups.
Yeah. So thrusters is squat to overhead press. 21 reps at 135 or 95.
95.
Yeah, 95 pounds. And pull-ups, chin over bar pull-ups. So 21 reps of thrusters, 21 reps of pull-ups, 15, 15, 9 and 9. And then clock stops.
Yeah.
So, and how'd it go in the afternoon?
Well, in the afternoon, I'm more alert. Yeah. I'm more warmed up. Yeah. And so, like, my body's a lot more lucid, and the breathing is a lot better. Yeah. And that's one thing I've learned from training is, like, morning versus evening training. And when I got there, I talked to Josh. I'm like, Josh, I'm about to redo this workout. He's like, dude, you're crazy. I'm like, and at the time, like, I'm like physically conditioned to do multiple workouts a day. It just didn't bother me.
That makes sense. And
so he was like, and I'm like, dude, I can break 2 minutes. He was like, I don't know if you can. I'm like, dude, I think I can because I got 2 minutes and 1 second. Like, dude, and I wasn't even trying. Yeah. And and I love thrusters. Like thrusters, like one of my favorite movements, and people hate it because it's a full body movement. Yeah. But it's something that actually it can make you better, just like swimming. Like it's
I
a full body
like
movement.
thrusters, and I think it's like I think it's for people who are of shorter stature, like you and I, like NG transfer from legs to upper body is a lot easier for us. So I think that's why we like it so much. And I like it just because it's fun. Like, I don't know. It's fun for me. I don't know how for other people.
I love it. It's I love thrusters. It's definitely a very it's a movement that you can make it hard. But it's something like over the years I've learned how to use the mechanics. Like swimming, it's the mechanics, is how to breathe. But when I told Josh that, he actually I told him, like, man, we gotta record this. And he was like, okay. But it was his idea, and I'm gonna give him credit. It's like, man, we got to send this in the CrossFit headquarters. And I'm like, man, I don't know about all that, man, because like and people don't know, like I'm very private, so I don't like to like make things known like that. And at that time, I really wasn't really into social media. Like I recently at that time was starting to get like, posting things because I just didn't care about it. Like I'm such a work person, I could care less about it. And so he's like, man, we got to send it to CrossFit headquarters. I'm like, all right. And so like that day, I can remember like. And I figured out how to like transition. And so like I didn't just like go into doing a workout. Like I'm like I have to like push the bar up and pull it down. Like it's not like you gotta rest the bar up top. You can't do that because it's just a matter of those milliseconds that you're spinning with the bar up in the air. And so I was like, I know I gotta pull this bar down. I can do it because I'm strong enough to do it. And I know with the pull-ups, I know I have to be able to, same thing, I have to be able to pull hard and push back down. Just like the barbell. And so it just makes sense. And so I was just testing it. I was like, okay, like I know I can do this in amount of seconds, this amount of seconds. And so when we got everything situated, he grabbed the camera, my phone, he used the camera, and he started recording. And then like, dude, the adrenaline and like, it just felt like a competitive match. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to spaz out. And I'm like, but at the same time, I just have to do this because like I've already committed. I said I'm going to do it, and I just got to do it.
Just get that adrenaline dump.
And so next thing you know, clock started, and then like I was just doing the thrusters, and I'm like, oh, these 21s feel good. And then I did the 21 pull-ups, and then 15. And 15 is always the hardest. I don't care how in shape you are. 15s are the hardest.
Middle part of the race and middle part of a workout, it's always the hardest.
Hardest. I don't care if it's 21 burpees and 21 like pull-ups. Once you get to that round of 15, dude, you might as well just put your head down and just suck it up because 9 is going to be nothing. It's going to be a breeze. 15s, man, I felt like I was just like in the middle of just like nowhere, and I'm like, I know I'm in the mid-15s. I just have to push through it. But at the same time, it's being able to be calm in those 15s. So I stayed calm, and then the 9s, it was just like 9s and 9s. And next thing you know,
light at the tunnel.
And then next thing you know, like I was done with the pull-ups at 1:53, and then from that point on, like I was just like, wow, I just literally did that in 2 minutes. Like I was the only person at the time was able to do that without having some type of adaptation. Like nothing added to it, no wall ball underneath, because that's the old school way was the wall ball. And they were all like, and you can watch the video. They was like, damn, and Josh was like, dude, we gotta send this in, dude. You're like the only person who done this. And so I'm like, man, go ahead and send it in. I wasn't really expecting them to respond, I'm being honest with you. I really didn't. And when they responded, it was like, hey, we're gonna put this on the main website, and we're gonna, put it on the YouTube because they have it on YouTube also. And when they did that, it was like, I didn't believe it. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna do that. I didn't believe them, and they actually did. And then they sent me another email saying, hey, we want you to do another workout, which was, I feel like one of the hardest workouts I've ever done. I've never done a workout with, it's the same format, it's 21-59, but it was L pull-ups and dumbbell thrusters. Like that was one of the hardest, like it was hard. Like I've never felt like my lats was on fire, and they ended up they compensated me for doing those workouts. So that was a blessing, but it was just the fact that like they wanted to put that known to the world, like it's possible to do workouts under a certain amount of time. Just like any other workout, they have benchmarks. So that was definitely one of the craziest things I've ever done. But I did do FRAN that same morning. I can honestly say that I did that.
That's awesome.
I was surprised I was able to do that the second time, and definitely CrossFit has definitely opened up a different mindset about working out for sure.
Yeah.
Like you can do multiple workouts a day. And
Yeah.
that was such a philosophy. Like you can't do that, but just to add on to that moment, is you can do it if you have the conditioning. Don't get me wrong. Don't go in there and do that.
Yeah,
But
well, like
if you-
you know, I come from a swim background. Like 2 days are normal for me.
Yeah.
Like, even like during swim meets, like you have prelims and finals, and they're usually 6 hours apart or whatever. Especially in college, like that was I love the college format where prelims is only like an hour and a half and got like 6 hours of rest, and then go to finals and you swim lights out. But growing up age group wise, like you're on the pool deck for like 6 or 7 hours at a time. And your break between prelims and finals is only like an hour. That was rough, but you make things work. And like you said, like you're more awake in the afternoon. I've always done my best swimming in the afternoon. And like even with weightlifting now, like I'm so much stronger at noon time, afternoon than I am in the morning. Like we wake up and work out at 5 a.m. and I'm like, dude, I need more carbs in my system because I'm struggling. So it's
just not enough caffeine.
I mean, I could take a bunch of caffeine in the morning. It's still not going to make me strong enough in the afternoon. As strong as I am in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can add on to that. Like that's one reason why I personally get up is to have that competitive edge and that mentality. Because in the mornings your body is not what it would be in the afternoon. So when I get up in the morning, I'm like, I tell myself this, not to make an excuse, but I'm like, hey, I know I'm not strong. But if I was to actually have an event in the evening, I know I'm going to be just as good as those there are because I've already had the mentality like I know I can do these movements way better in the afternoon because I've done them in the morning and I know that I'm not fully awake. My body, I don't have all the proper nutrients. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't know the studies behind working out in the morning versus the evening. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
And which we were just saying. So I definitely I use that as like a drive for sure. But there's times in the morning I'm like, and you see me, I'm like, I sometimes look at the bar and I'm just like, man, this.
You shake your head and it's like, man, why do I gotta pick you up?
It's a battle, man.
And like, we're doing like heavy squats in the morning. Like, if I load up to close to like my max, I'll just look at the bar. I'm like, man, I know I'm not gonna be able to lift this. Like, I just know. Like, I was like, not that I'm trying to be negative. It's like I know I've lifted it before. Now I'll just look at it like, I'll unrack it, and I'll step out and take a breath.
You can feel it.
And I'm like, nope, put it back. And Mark's like, what happened? I'm like, it wasn't happening. It's not happening today.
You just know, your body can know. Your body just tells you. Like, it identifies real quick.
Yeah. I know for me, like, if I unrack it and it feels light, I know I got it all day. But if I unrack it and it feels like slightly heavy, forget it. It's done. I ain't gonna get it. So.
But that comes from a different place, though. You've experienced that, and you know where you're.
Oh yeah, I've had weight crush me before. It's not fun. Like I've had to dump 400 pounds off my back before. It's not fun.
I think I'm mostly just like trying to kill myself because I'm always constantly testing my limits. So it's like right now I haven't had the experience. Like I gotta honestly say, and this isn't like to gas you up, like blow smoke up your butt, but like hearing you talk about that one play and then hearing you talk about Fran, like that really is like. It's part of the benefit of having this conversation and being in the presence of someone who's done it. Like, because for me, I casually got into fitness because, like, after the Air Force, I had to keep myself up and healthy because I didn't have any money, and I figured if I stay healthy and ate right, then I wouldn't go to the hospital, have to spend any money because I didn't have insurance. Yeah. That was really my motivation. Then eventually developed into, if I do this workout, I can see the numbers go up, and then that became my intrinsic motivation. So lately, when we were doing those 20s, it was like, I could do 285 for 20.
Yeah.
What about if I did 290? What about if I did 295?
Yeah, you just keep going. Yeah, it just feeds on yourself. Now, if you go back to like, singles or like even doubles or triples, like,
oh man,
you'd be like, this is so easy. Because when I stopped doing the 20s, I think I did 300 for 20. And for some reason, 5 pounds, like.
Was it like you add like 5 or I did it years ago, like 5 or 10 pounds every week or something like that?
Well, we're doing it. We're supposed to add 5 pounds every week. We've added 5 pounds every session.
Every session's like.
Yeah, so I got to like 305, and I think I did it for 11.
Yeah.
And my body just fell apart after that. So I was like, man, screw this 20 stuff. Like I'm gonna go back. We were doing it 3 times a week.
Yeah, see,
We hit the wall fast.
yeah, because like when a couple years ago we did that same type of. We literally did twice a week, and I remember at the time like doing that weight, man. It was just a mental.
Yeah.
It's mentally. It's not even how strong you
Yeah,
are.
it's
Exactly.
it's more of a. If I get to 10, I can do 15. If I
Yeah.
can get to 15, I can do 20.
Yeah.
And like that's basically how it goes. And anybody wants a good like squat program to test your mental toughness and to build some wheels.
You can build some wheels.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do one set of 20 3 times a week. Don't do what we did and add 5 pounds every session. Add
Once a
5
week.
pounds once a week.
Yeah.
Do it for 8 weeks.
That's a really good point,
Yeah.
though. Like what you said about it being like the mental test. Like, I needed to be in the right place to do this workout.
Yeah.
Like before we started, I always joked like I'm a powerlifter. I don't do cardio. I don't do like anything beyond like 3 to 5 in any given set. So for me, like between just like being in the headspace to want to be stronger, being in that space, like I was following Cameron Haynes, who's like this big, like bow hunter. He does like these 240-mile like ultra marathons, man. They're 240 miles like that.
No, thank you.
I can't get to that.
Nope.
But I mean, like, what he was talking about, and like,
That's
we're like
inspirational,
Goggins,
man.
like that experience. Do you still like have conversations in your head, like, no, this is it. Like, I can't do any more reps.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah.
But it's like.
But you do.
But it's like that competitive, like that.
like,
all
what?
the years, it's like you hear your coach or you hear somebody saying like, you can pick up that bar, and sometimes you just have to get angry at yourself, like, man, you're being the B word. I don't want to say
Yeah.
like you're being the B, pick up the bar, and sometimes
Yeah.
you just have to. Like the other day, I was doing snatches. Like you just sometimes got to get angry. So sometimes I just get, I have to like forget form, forget everything, and I'm just gonna get angry and lift it.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes you have to do.
Henry missed the snatch, and I just saw him just shake his head, and he went back to the bar and just ripped it off the ground. I was like, dude, sometimes you just gotta get angry with the bar.
Yeah.
Like it works. Like I mean, like
That's
I've
it.
done it. He's not like I saw him do it. I recognized exactly what happened, and you just have to get angry. Sometimes I look at the bar and I'm like, why? Like if I miss a lift, I'll just look at it like, why aren't you cooperating? Like I'll talk to the bar like it's a person. I'm like I'm doing everything right. Like why aren't you cooperating? I'll rip it off the ground.
That's so true. Because I was saying that I'm like, dude, I have the perfect form. Like, why I can't put you over my head? And I said, so I was like, bump this. You're not being nice to me. I'm gonna be nice to you. So I'm gonna lift you in kind of way.
I'm gonna be mean to you. No, it's so funny because like the last time you were counting off my reps, because he wasn't able, like you were gone for some reason.
Yeah.
So you were counting my reps, and I remember thinking like every single time someone starts to look at me, I'm like, oh, God damn it! Now Paula's looking at me, now Mark's looking at me, or like now Henry's, and then you're calling him out, and you were just saying, strong legs, Mark, strong legs.
Strong
I'm like,
legs.
I got strong legs, don't I? That's what I'm saying to myself. And I started losing counts. I got to 17. I thought it was 20, and I was just like, well, if I miss this one, I'm gonna have to do this whole thing all over again. So I need to just do this.
Yeah.
And then I racked it and watched the video later on. It's like, oh God, I only did 17.
But it's that extrinsic motivation. And I was like,
Yeah.
just having somebody next to you. I know because I've done that
Yeah.
program before. And I'm like, if I had somebody telling me, like, dude, you can do it, you got strong legs, like, it gives you that extra boost.
Yeah.
And saying that word, strong legs, like, it embeds it into you,
Yeah.
like, I do got strong legs.
Yeah.
And then you just keep moving.
Yeah, and it's funny being in the space because like we try to do everything so much to like the numbers, and for me, I try to stay away from like hippie like esoteric stuff because I don't want to tell people like be positive when like you have no proof of like what you're capable of. It's good to have that proof, but like it really does make sense in that respect. Like even wearing a shirt that just says like keep going, whatever it is, like having those motivational things where you can see it intrinsically matters. And it's not like some hippie thing. I know there is a space where that is a very hippie thing, and there's like no grounding for it.
Yeah.
You're just like up in the clouds, and you do yoga, and you and all that stuff. But there is a place where having someone say you have strong legs, or having said let's go, or something just having faith in you outside of you really does matter.
Yeah. Do you ever have like speaking on this topic? Do you ever have like a coach's voice inside your head like telling you stuff to do? Like I know like if I go to bed late and I know I have a 5 o'clock workout and I wake up like my alarm clock hits at like 4:30 and like I'm like, I really don't want to do this, but I literally tell myself, I'm like, you did this to yourself, get your ass up. Like, do you ever have like and that's my dad's voice. So, and I have like, you know, certain moments where like I hear, you know, either my high school coach or my college coach are like, let's go, like keep it up, like you got this or whatever. Like I hear that stuff and maybe I'm just crazy, I don't know. But like, do you ever hear like the coach's voice inside your head, like when you work out?
Like my head,
Yeah.
my coach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, has he ingrained his soul inside your brain so badly that you start hearing him during like workouts and stuff?
Honestly, I don't hear it as much because it's always been like me telling myself, like I'm been such a big critic of myself.
Yeah.
So like I'm so self-aware of like I know I'm not pushing myself where I need to be at. And I only know how far I can push myself because some people don't know my body as well as I do.
Well, no one knows your body
I know,
as well.
and it's just like, but I've learned that just from competing in CrossFit. Like some people like, man, but you make it look so easy, but it's like it's not easy for me.
It looks easy,
but it's very hard.
Yeah, like when I swim butterfly, like everyone's like, do you make it look so flawless? I'm like, dude, it felt so wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, no, dude, it looked perfect. I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I'm 20 to 25 pounds over my race weight. Like, it feels completely wrong. It may look good, but it feels god awful.
And then only you know that.
Only I know that, yeah.
But it's just something like you just have that self-awareness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. My coaches never really criticized me as much or tried to like push me because I've had such a drive. They never like you one of those things like a strength and conditioning coach seeing an athlete like me. They never really had to be on me. Like it was just something like I just did routine, and I never got out of it. And that just comes from I think it's just my personality. Like I like being disciplined. Like I don't. It doesn't bother me like cussing me out, telling me I need to. Push it. Like, it doesn't bother me because I need that. Like, I need to be pushed. So, I think it's just more of me just telling myself, like, okay, Henry, you need to pick up that bar because you missed that freaking snatch. Like, you can lift that weight. It's like things I tell myself in my head. I don't say it out loud. But
I'm definitely more in that category. It's like the voice in my head is just me. And it's like, it's either like I said about the 20 that I missed, it's just like, when I finally pulled out that 295, I got to, and that 20 was disgusting.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Struggling. I was like, my back is gonna fold over.
Your hips are going up, like before your chest went up.
The voice in my head was just like, if you miss this, you're gonna have to do another session and try to hit this weight. So you might as well just do this now. And from 15 on to like 19, it was like you could just put the weight down, you could stop, or you could just dramatically drop it off your back. And be like, I can't make it anymore. That was it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like you don't know you better than yourself, and the only voice. It's like I used to take this for granted. Back in school, and they used to be like, the only person you're cheating is yourself when you cheat on like a test. Yeah. It's like, oh, shut up, whatever. Because like I'm trying to get this grade. I don't care. But it really is the truth. Like you're the only one that knows that you really put in the work, and you really accomplished what that is. And so that for me, it's like the voice is, what if you tried more? Like what would happen if you did more? So it's always that like. I know you're walking around at 175, but what if you could squat 500 pounds at 175 and 5'10"? Like, what if you could? So that's the thing that drives me most. Yeah. Not necessarily my dad's voice, because my dad is a goofy like fresh off the boat voice. So,
the discipline part is my dad. Like he never like.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, I told you the story, but like when I first started swimming down here in Florida. Obviously it's way different than swimming in New York. And he told me, like, the standard, Coach Shove's standard for being on the national team on the Sharks was if you missed a practice, you were done. Like, you can't swim for me anymore. And my dad told me, he's like, the day I have to wake you up for practice, it's the last day you'll ever swim. And it scared me because this is something that I love and something I want to continue with. So whenever I feel sorry for myself, I'm like, I went to bed late. Like, maybe I can hit the snooze button for 5 minutes. They're like, no, you did this to yourself.
Right.
Get your ass out of bed. You got work to do. And, like, that's always, like, the secondary voice inside my head to, like, all right, I did this myself. I can feel sorry for myself later.
Right.
Let me just get this work done. So maybe that's just the craziness in me. I don't know.
No,
but,
I think I think it's something that a lot of not just competitive people who like don't have excuses for themselves mentality, because I have that same mentality. Like, and people don't know that. Not saying about myself, but people like that. Like, I don't make excuses. Like, I will literally, off of 3 or 4 hours of sleep, even if I have to drink a Bang energy drink, I would drink it and get my behind to the gym. Because, like you said, like, I did it to myself. I did something the night before that caused me not to sleep. I still got to get up because this is my routine. And no matter what, it's going to suck during, but afterwards, you know, I did my job.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you did what you needed to do, and you stick. I think, you know, sticking to a routine and is not just beneficial for athletes, but I think it's beneficial for everyone. Like, if you stick to a routine and like, well, just like this quarantine thing, like kind of retain a sense of normalcy. Okay, 'cause panic is only gonna cause more issues and like more stress. And like, I feel like if you retain some kind of normalcy, you're gonna be fine and better off.
Yeah, just keep things consistent. It's something that you said about like keeping yourself accountable and like staying on your own routine. I think since we know what we're capable of and we're always pushing it, I think that's part of. Do you ever feel like, since you've coached, we've all coached in some respect. I think. Do you feel like the thing that makes you most disappointed in people is because you know that they have so much potential and they never try? And they come up with so many reasons that it's, I'm tired, this bar hurts, and it's like, I've experienced all those things.
and those kind of people, man, I've had more compassion, more empathy for. But I think when I was younger, I would like, don't come down.
I was like, go away.
Yeah, because that's negative and like it's not optimistic at all. You're like, because a lot of people, and I think about other people in the world, because I always try to use that mentality, have way worse conditions than we have. And so like people think that's cliche, but it's so true. I think if you start complaining, which yesterday I'm a victim. I was complaining because I couldn't go to the gym, but it like eventually you have to snap out of it. Like, okay, man, it could be way worse than this. You know. And so I think after time, at some point you have to tell yourself. But like people like that, I try to have sympathy and try to understand. But sometimes it's just like, dude, like. There's no reason to complain about heartburn on your back. Just using your example, or like, this something is somebody didn't pick up something. Like, trust me, I'm pissed too, but it's like, you're going to let that stop you from working out? You know, you're going to stop you from doing your routine? Because I don't. I'm just going to move it, and I'm going to complain about it later. Like, man, I can't believe this person left their stuff out. And I had to clean it up, so I added more time into my session. I could have been done by now. So I think about that afterwards, but when I get there to the gym, I was like, I got to do what I got to do. I got to get going. Once I get in my flow, afterwards, I can complain later. So
that's why I like training the kid I'm training now, Trey. Yeah, I could tell him to run through a brick wall and he'll do it.
He's gonna be a little.
And like credit to his parents, like they did a great job. Like he don't complain. And he's like, hey, I'm a little sore, but let's get to work. And like, he's excited. And like he generally looks forward to like working out. And I'm like, awesome, man. Just like keep that, like please stay like that forever.
That mindset,
that will bring you so much. Like it'll open up so many doors if you have that mindset.
I love that, man. So, like I appreciate that. Honestly, like you can complain all day, but if you put in the work, like I don't care. Like if you just the whole time just bitched about every single little thing. I'm sorry, we haven't cursed. I broke the record for today.
I already
like if you just complain the whole stinking time about like the bar hurts and it's early and I'm sweating, and it's like, but if you did the work anyways, I'm gonna be happy. Because I know that you're willing to put in the work in spite of all the things that are attacking you.
Like I'll admit, like I was a complainer in like high school, like especially because like we came from a distance program. I swam like sprints like mid distance. So I'm like, man, I got kicked to like the distance lane. I'm like, we're doing this stupid set. And, like I don't want to do this. But like at the end of the day, I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I was like, I just like wanted to vent my misery. And like all the distance was like, well, welcome to we called it the FML lane, which is the F my life lane. So. Like that was like the running, like that's what the distance swimmers call their lane and like their side of the pool, and the sprinters we had a Paradise Cove because it was easy, and we got to like have a lot of long rest periods, and all we had to do was swim fast. And I was like, can I get back to Paradise Cove? And like, no, my coach was like, no, you need this. Like this is gonna benefit you in the long run. So, but I used to complain like every single minute of it, but I still did it. So coaches really didn't care. And the other swimmers were like, dude, it's like you won't be able to complain much because like you're gonna be out of breath. So get used to it.
Yeah, and I think I read some research once upon a time, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. I remember telling some of the people I was coaching, like, complaining actually takes away a good chunk of your energy.
Yeah.
I hate that word because it's like so vague, so esoteric. But like it actually steals away from the energy that you could put into that particular set or the one rep that you're gonna do for like a maximal effort.
Yeah.
So and it just sets this expectation in your mind that I'm gonna fail.
Well, it sets doubt in your mind, and
Yeah,
when
like
doubt
there's a
creeps in,
block.
it blocks so many pathways.
Like if you're walking down a path, like why would you want to like literally drop blocks or like bananas and things in your way to like slip you up? Like you might as well just go do it. And so, like you said, you used to complain.
Yeah.
It's like this is gonna get done, but I'm gonna complain about it anyways. I just got to the point where it's like this is gonna get done. It's gonna get done. There's no point in complaining about it because I'm gonna do it.
And I want to add on to what you guys were saying about complaining. I think I was like one of those people that just never really complained. Like in my head, I would get like tired of certain things because it's like monotonous. But I just never really, I don't know. I just, like you're saying, like I feel like it would just add like that roadblock into where you're trying to go. So it's very hard for me to complain because like this is what I signed up for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I put myself
When I got to college, like I stopped complaining. I was like, it's like you wanted a scholarship, you wanted to be a college athlete. Like this is what you signed up for. I'm like, shoot, if I got to run stadiums for 2 hours because somebody keeps missing an interval, then that's what I got to do.
That's why my fiance don't like working out with me. She'll tell you because like she gets around complaining around me, I just ignore it.
Yeah.
And like I just do it because like I can't entertain it.
Sorry,
like,
ladies.
I'm here for a reason.
Yes.
And so like, and I think it's not just her. I'm not pointing her out, but I think just sometimes people do that,
Yeah.
and like I just don't entertain it.
Yeah.
Like, and I said like I'm ignoring it. It's just like okay. I'm doing this. Like, if you want to complain, you can go over there and complain.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say anything mean.
Yeah.
And I hurt their feelings. Like, okay, like, why are you here for? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You're here to complain because like there's a door, so you can go back to your
See,
destination.
I think people need that sometimes too. Like if you have somebody training with you and they're complaining, like I've snapped on people like, oh, you can leave anytime, like, or like you can get out of my lane, like I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. So
You're right, and I think like given the current social political climate, I just feel like there's just more room for people. People are just being permitted to complain more.
I think people need that kind of like boot in the butt. Like,
Yeah, and I think
hey, there's a door.
the current
You're free to leave anytime you want.
Nature's current intervention lately is kind of putting people in that situation, and I can't help but like I was born in one of those areas that's like I was born in the Philippines, so I get it. Like my parents drilled it in our heads, like never forget where you came from. And I don't. Like we literally had no running water. We didn't have bathrooms. We had a hole in the room on the floor, in a room, and there was no light in there. So if you wanted to go to the bathroom, that was it. And so for people to be complaining about the circumstances now, or like everything is so bad now.
Correct.
I mean, let's be smart about it.
Do a lot worse.
Do what the authorities are telling us to do for the current circumstances. Beyond that, like it's really not that dire.
That's why we're not in a coffee shop right now.
That's where like situations like that is very hard for me to have compassion because like how you came
I feel
from,
you.
like I
Totally.
came from a very rough area, not to put that over anybody's head, but it's hard for me to complain because it's like anything from where I came from to now is just like it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
It's been great. So it's like I may not have this, but it's like I never had that before. So it's like if I'm going back to it, it's just like okay, like I know what to do in the situation. It's to like pretty much like just deal with it, and it's temporary.
Yeah, and I feel like being in those hard situations, like they shape you and like they make you the person that you are. Like, like we all have certain aspects in our life that molded us, and now that we're adults and like we're functioning, hopefully.
Debatable.
Debatable. Like it's just like part of our how we develop. Like obviously all three of us are very hard workers, and like we have certain aspects of us, certain past things that help mold us and create us. So it's true testament of where we came from.
Yeah, and many more things that we're working on. I feel like we're kind of getting to a natural endpoint. But so for me, like I just kind of want to say that's my concluding thought. You look at Henry. You look at Mark, you look at myself, whatever. Myself, whatever. You could probably say in some capacity or another, we have a certain, I don't want to say like attractiveness about us. And I say that because when I first met our buddy Justin, when we talked the first time, we're like, I thought you were just so fucking full of yourself. And he said the same to me. He's like, I thought you were like, you had this like resting bee face. And I was like, and I think that happens because you just become so hardened to all the things that you do. Yeah. It makes you seem as if you're untouchable. It almost makes you seem a little bit cocky walking around. Because I get that. Like when I first met Henry, without having known your background, like I was like, this guy was the one. Because I knew you from the magazine. Because Henry was on a local magazine. He's there without a shirt on. It's like really stylized. And that's how I got to know you. And so for me, it's like, oh wow, here's Henry Sales at the gym I'll be working at, and he's like this like big trainer, and he's a very accomplished trainer. Don't dismiss that, but like getting to know you and your humanity, understanding more like what it is that drives you, makes me understand that the reason why you are the kind of person who almost seems dismissive and lack compassion sometimes is because you've gone through those places, you've gone through hell, and known that you can do it, and anybody else can do it.
Yeah.
And
that's how I met Henry through the Fit 9 for 1 magazine. They're like, everyone at the gym was like, "Hey, Mark, is this you?" I'm like, "No." And I was like, "Just because we look alike, does that mean that I'm him?" Like, so
I had that for a minute when I first saw you at I think it was like RFS the first time. I was like, "Is that
Henry?"
guy?
I'm like, I get it. Like we all have doppelgangers, and Henry is officially my non-biological identical twin. It's gonna happen. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Just because we have the same haircut, same skin tone, it's all good. Same build, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
But
that's my closing thought is like the reason why we look as tough as not tough, but like as cold as we sometimes look or as dismissive is like, hey, if you're gonna complain, go over there.
Yeah.
It's because we know that you're capable of so much more.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the optimism of it, like you have more than what you can accomplish if you just put your mind somewhere else. And so like I do come off sometimes like that, but I think that's just my personality. I'm very quiet and very secluded.
You are.
So like I don't like being on the attention. Like I've never been like on a magazine. Like I never liked that stuff.
Yeah.
I just like being in the back, behind the scenes, like just chilling, like working out, like pretty much minding my own business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get out of that shit, but I think I can. I think
he's
cursed.
He's cursed with being pretty.
like for me, like when I was competing, like I liked being in lane 4.
Yeah.
Like I never lost a race in lane 4, and that was like the center of attention. I kind of like thrived off that, but like I just like that's what worked for me. But if I was in like lane 1 or like lane 8, like in a race, like I would perform the same way. Like it didn't matter. It was like, all right, well, I screwed up. Like obviously I don't deserve to be in lane 4 tonight, but I want to make sure everyone knows my name in lane 1.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make an impact somehow. So that's always like kind of been my mentality, and either because I was very quiet growing up, and then once I started getting really accomplished in swimming and moving down here, it kind of broke me out of my shell.
Yeah.
But yeah. And my ending message for everyone is always the same. Be the best version of yourself, in and out of the gym, and always do more, read more, be more, each and every day. And thank you guys for listening. And we're gonna have more more content coming out.
Watch out for that Streamline program.
Yeah, Streamline program.
And where can people find you, Henry? Online, on the socials.
Yeah,
on the
pretty
socials.
pictures.
Just on social media. As of currently, I don't really do anything really on social media anymore. I just post a workout that I follow with Mayhem, but that's just pretty much it. I've been trying to make my life a lot more simpler. Just from over the years, trying to do this modeling and stuff like that, I just feel like it's just not me. I think just working out is just my niche.
Yeah.
Like it's always been, and I'm just going to stick with that.
Okay.
Whether it's just posting like a simple workout, like nothing really crazy. I'm just really enjoying the rest
So
of my life.
what's your online handle
Oh, my username?
for Instagram or wherever?
It's 12HL Sales.
Okay.
So SAILES.
Got it.
So you can follow me or not follow me. I don't care.
So
Dude, I don't get paid being on social media. So I tried.
You mean you're not selling a tee? You're not selling.
T-shirts or
there's no booty workout coming out.
no online program.
I tried that and it just didn't work. So I was just like, I just rather just work and post workouts and learn how to swim soon and just keep just trying to be more balanced. I think in life that's pretty much been my biggest thing is trying to be balanced, temperament, keeping that level.
Awesome.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at NCOX91 on Instagram. Once again, don't follow me on Facebook because I'm not going to friend you. I'm going to be posting more content on Streamline, and I got a new challenge that I'm doing, and it's from First Forms to 75 Hard. So I'll be posting more of that stuff. I'm not going to be posting every day about it, but something I'm working on, and.
So I'm doing a lot of the. So I have 2 roles here. I'm doing the production stuff, but you can find me at My Primal Being everywhere on social media. But if you want to check out the rest of the production stuff, it's gonna be Echelon Media. But yeah, definitely working on getting more streamlined content out to you guys, getting this stuff out to you guys on a consistent basis. Just because it's nice to have these conversations and to constantly be around people who are achieving some great things. Take us away there, Mr. Cox.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. If you liked this podcast or this video, please like, subscribe, to share, and leave a review on Apple. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's just gonna be on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and YouTube. So
YouTube
please give us a thumbs up or a heart or whatever you kids do now.
Hearts for Henry.
Yeah, hearts for Henry.
Because he's pretty.
All right. Thank you guys, and we're signing out. Dang, I never got the red dot on this before.
Really?
Yeah.
All the way to
It was
the
like
very end?
yeah, it was like
oh,
it's like 59.50.
Come on, stop.
Cancel it now.
So this is something y'all do like every week.